Good day, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. It is a good evening because we had lots of updates and, well, to tune this down a little bit. As you can see, we've got a game between Purple Wave and Steamhammer, both of which got updated. And Steamhammer didn't really get to play in the base of Purple Wave much. There was a Forge Fast Expand and that was executed quite beautifully, and now Purple Wave is going for some unit production, while Steamhammer is going for a third. There is a small group of lings outside, but that's surely never going to get through. So, update-wise, we've got Crazio Protoss updated, Antigua Random Hammer, of course, with its Zerg brother Steamhammer, Purple Destiny, Spirit, Swarm, and Wave, the original, of course. Then Halpan updated the 1st of April, McGrave, 31st, and Chimerabot, and then Bradberg. That was last week. But all in all, it's not really a bad tally for a normal run-of-the-mill week. And if you look at the ELO rating, it's still Seda right on top. Win rate not as high, and that's mainly because the Cutis is sniping it and Purple Wave sniping it too. Microwave doing really well. Crazier Protoss in the 5th place, that's really impressive. But if you see the scores, it's really these two and then the rest, but the top is getting closer. There's no 200-point gap anymore, and Ironbot is only 200 points behind Seda, so that's saying something. Proxy doing good, and Killerbot still hanging in there with the December update for the finals. McRave doing good, Chimerabot of course doing well, Halpan, Steamhammer is getting better and better. Purple Destiny really got a good score for a random bot. And, well, then it's really the rest of the pack, and it's largely the, well, the top 10, 15 getting updates and getting better and better, and there haven't been any new bots for a little while, and of course the middle of the pack bots haven't really been upgraded, because every time you do improve a bot, it's going to go into the top 15, and, well, that's saying something. So upgrades still playing a major part in how good bots actually are. Now, Steamhammer, and of course, oh, there are orange dots out on the minimap, those are Corsairs, and there are some Hydras out, so it's going to be a little bit of play. Oh, and that's very, very nice, a Spore Colony. This Overlord is very lucky, oh, and luck just ran out because the Corsair got out, and you can see Purple Wave now with a nice big fat army, all Gateway units and a couple of Corsairs, but still. Oh, and there is Templar tech behind that as well. Another base coming up by Steamhammer, lots of bases, but to protect the Overlords might be a good idea as well. I think that one's going to snuff it, and the Corsairs are only going to lose a little bit of shield damage. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, we've got a large group of Zealots backed up by one Dragoon, and of course they have got the +1, +2 already starting, so Purple Wave really committed to those upgrades, and I think that's good. The Corsairs, 4 of them, how many are there in total? Well, 4, so we've got them all here, are doing a number on the Overlords. You can see Steamhammer a little bit supply blocked, and Purple Wave really macroing like a champion, doubling the supply of the Zerg adversary at the moment. And, ooh, the bridges with the 2 Sunkens, the 1 Spore, are doing good, but there are too many Zealots, that's just the gist of it. And, oh, that was a killer storm. And there you go, the Templar dies getting sniped from behind, but the damage has been done. It's 50 versus 10, not even 10 army supply. There is a Lurker morphing here in the middle, but the 4th base is going to get clubbed, and the 3rd base is already up and running and protected by 2 cannons. And I think that, as a Protoss, it's a little bit easier, but you can see how easily Purple Wave is macroing his way out of this. There are Lurkers though now, and I don't see any kind of observers, but the Lurker micro is a little bit bad. If they are out of range, they will unburrow, and, well, you can see all the units trying to run in and kill them and take half the HP of one. And oh, that's such a lot of damage. The Archon doesn't really understand the concept of Lurkers, that's unfortunate. That may cost it its life, and yeah, there it puffs. Now, 4th base up for Wave. Oh, there we go. Observer coming in, but Steamhammer is still hanging in there, having re-established. Oh no, it didn't get killed, that's pretty good. Still has got quite a nice army. Lurkers doing well. And now the Observer is overhead, so I think that these Lurkers can be engaged, and the Royal Dark Templar, which are going to be a little bit of an issue, especially considering the lack of Overlords in general. So you can see Zerg pushing, And Purple Wave's running out of forces as well. Zerg fighting really okay-ish. Ooh, killing a thingy. What's it called? And now an Overlord to the party as well. Steamhammer really making a lot happen with these small groups of units, but now I think that the Lurkers will... Oh, where is the Observer? The Observer is right over here, and the Lurkers are over there, so that's unfortunate. Now the Observers come in for a closer look, and I think that this contain with 5 army supply is going to be cleaned up, and Purple Wave has already macroed up 40 supply more. Look at the production tab, that's really insane. Ooh, I don't know if that's going to work. Purple Wave has got some anti-air, and Steamhammer is making a sort of switch into Muter. Let's see the Muter count. It's 4 versus 1 Corsair. That should work. There are a lot of Templar though, and they resort to storming Overlords and Scourge, and now with some Archons as well. I think the anti-air forces of Purple Wave are more than adequate. We are going to see a greater Spire though, so perhaps with Guardians it might work, but still you've got 80 versus 15 army supply. That's not going to cut it. Lots of Sunkens at the natural though, and the Zealots are going in for a beating, taking a lot of losses, and the Muters are overhead, killing the the High Templar, and now the Archons and the Corsair are going to go after it. Oh dear, a Defiler mount, that's going to be cute, and I think that Steamhammer needs one. This base is going to be overrun in a matter of seconds. The Zealots are everywhere, and still 70 versus only 20 army supply. Will we see Defilers though? I think one of the scariest things imaginable is Steamhammer with Defilers, because there are so many bots based on Steamhammer that it seems very likely that someone will take that, ooh, Devourer class unit, that someone will take that Defiler capability, and oh, that's nice anti-air. A couple of Guardians versus the Goons might be nice. But if someone runs off with this idea and spends a lot of time on getting the Defilers to work, that might be good. And look at these defenses. Steamhammer staying in there, staying put, taking a lot of damage, lots of bases bleeding, but still there is a sizable army, and Protoss had better not overcommit, because Steamhammer is fighting really well. The unit engagements are quite okay, and as you can see, this defensive set, oh, that is a little bit of a wasteful drone transfer, but these defenses at the natural bridges are very, very good. And the Lurker right over there, there is no Observer, and Purple Wave is a little bit sloppy with the Observer coverage. And this one Lurker, oh, now it dies, is doing a lot of damage. Steamhammer taking a beating, and now the Sunkens are being engaged. Will we have... Oh, we'll have one Guardian somewhere, I don't know where it is exactly. Oh, it's over here, so nice on the high ground, but really... The Goons can sort of attack it, and there is a Corsair overhead as well. The Sunkens, they still hold, and this Guardian is going to pop, but I don't really think that's going to make much of a difference. Oh no, it's a Devourer. Where is the Guardian? I want to be able to click on things too. Oh, here it is. So let's see how much of a summer is going to be made by these two Guardians. And the Corsair is really brave. But I think that the Scourge, they can take it out once it gets out of range of the Archon. And there are... Oh, look at this! Oh, the Hydras are getting pummeled from all sides. And that's just very unfortunate. And let me take my mic a little bit further away from my my throat, because oh dear, that's just BM taking this expansion, building some cannons, giving Zerg even less room to maneuver. And the Zealots are overrunning this base once again. That's a lot of workers for Protoss though, but I think that Zerg has had its best time. The Lurkers are dead, and there are so many Protoss units about. Upgrade wise, it's looking, oh, +3, +2 armor, no shields for Protoss. That's strange because there are so many units with shields. But now the last Sunken's getting overrun, and it's 80 versus 10 army supply. Zerg hasn't really got a leg to stand on anymore, and Purple Wave is going to stamp this into the ground like a pro. Oh, this Scourge is very lucky with all the Archons not killing... Oh, just killing it. So, yeah, that's going to be the GG Defiler mount. No Defilers. But let's hop into the next game, which is another one. It is a Steamhammer versus Purple Spirit. And let's see how Dan's Terran is progressing, and if Steamhammer is going to go for a Defiler mount again, we'll have a Zerg versus Terran with a Defiler. Right now there are only a handful of Zerg who can do that, namely TSEMU and Toothpick Cactus can do it as well. And I'm really waiting for one of the active big Zergs to start incorporating Swarms and Plague. That would really be great. And now Steamhammer's leading the charge with a handful of Zerglings, but there are 4 Marines out already, so that's obviously not going to work. Defensive bunker, I think that's a little bit of money wasted. Could rather have it built on top of the ramp or here in the natural choke, but Purple Spirit is right on top of things, and of course being a Spirit Terran, it's going to have a fair number of Marines. Okay. No natural, but oh, the Zerglings taking a bit of a beating. Have they? They haven't got speed, doesn't look like it. But that's an interesting place for a new base. So, yeah. Well, that's going to be a new bunker. That's a better position, covering and the ramp and the natural. So, doing okay there. What's happening in the main? We've got gas about to be taken, another hatch, and lots of drones being built over here. I think that's good for a little bit of eco, because Purple Spirit is going to take that natural and has got double the number of workers that Zerg has got, and that is going to be the first factory, or is it going to be an EVA? It is... oh, dear me, I'm blind, it's too small, it's an academy, and that will mean that Terran will have all kinds of cool upgrades, and medics soon too. So I think that Steamhammer had better pick a tactic, because these Zerglings aren't going to cut it for very long anymore. Now turrets are coming up. There is no lair, so that's... oh, the lair's over here. That's pretty good. I don't see a spire, I see Hydras, and with a small peek at the upgrades tab I see that Lurker aspect is done as well. And it's going to be Lurkers versus a lot of Bio, which generally speaking is quite a good matchup for Terran. If you know how to deal with Lurkers, that is because... and now Terran will see the Lurker scan going off, but there is not enough fighting power right over there, and 2 medics and 2 Marines are going to kill the Marines. There are plenty of them. Oh, this is dangerous, because the Marines are congregating over here. Oh, and now running... oh god, this is not good, and although the Lurkers, both of them die, that was a very costly defense for Purple Spirit. And Steamhammer has now got the 3rd up and running, has taken a 4th, and is taking the fight to the Terran with a handful of Zerglings and 1 more Lurker. There is a bunker with another siege tank, so this is not going to work, especially considering there are 2 turrets. SCV's coming off the line though, and this match I think is pretty good. I like Steamhammer so far. Purple Spirit has got to... they are just outside of range here, I think, but the scan goes off, and the tank will kill all of them. No, there is... oh, yes, it unburrows and it is dead, so that's rather unfortunate. Lurker Micro is very hard to get right, and... oh, Purple Spirit going to sneak out, take another base, or going for a scanning mission. You can see Purple Spirit has got the army advantage, despite Steamhammer having lots and lots of production facilities here. Fair number of workers, but just no army at all. Production tab looks like a lot of infrastructure, and this is a rather strange moment to go for a Muta switch. There are no upgrades for air, and Terran has got the necessary upgrades in place already. 3rd base being taken by Spirit, and that is going to be bloody... oh, the Mutas, they do find some stray units, and that's always good. Marine trying to still get away with his life, but it's just not working, and the Mutas are now in formation and going to kill some more Marines, while losing one of their own numbers as well. Probably 1-2 slipped down to Hades, and I think that these Marines are doing pretty well. Have got some Knight upgrades, nothing, as I said earlier, for these Mutas. And of course with the Science Vessel it has got Irradiate, so as a Zerg you might want to do something about that. Interesting ninja starport over here, but the 3rd base is now saturated, and Zerg has got quite a number of workers, so there must be a huge potential for producing a lot of units. Oh, the Irradiate killing some Mutas, and still Zerg is making workers and no fighting forces. You can see Terran has got an army of 50, and Zerg has just got nothing to deal with that, despite the fact that there are very few medics. Oh, there are some medics, but they're too far in the rear. And there is no sunken as well, so Steamhammer really dropping the ball here. Has got 70 workers, no forces, and is now trying to do everything at once. Ultra Cavern, Defiler Mound, Lurkers, Ultras, Hydras. and Zerglings and more drones because, well, you've only got 70 and there isn't an army at your gate, so let's drone up a little bit. Now though, how will Steamhammer do this siege? And the siege, oh dear, oh dear, there aren't any medics, so these Zerglings, they sort of do play tag with Marines with 1 HP, so that's just going to be... Oh, and the Lurker! Ah, one more! No, just not one more. And now the medics do catch up, and this is a very potent Terran army. There is still no... There is one Lurker right at the top, but it can't... It needs to be here, right on top of the ramp, and pray that will save the natural. Lots of workers dying, and Purple Spirit really pouring on the pressure, just moving units in, and Steamhammer can't get shit done because it hasn't got an army. It's still building workers and now building a lot of Zerglings, but I really wonder if Zerglings are going to cut it. So many science vessels already, and oh, we are we've got a defiler alert. One big plague on the science vessel cloud, if you please. The science vessels, yes, they do are radiated. And now what's the defiler? Oh, just going to die, so that's a bit unfortunate. There are a lot of Scourge and a lot of Zerglings, but for some reason the Scourge don't really seem to be able to connect with the science vessels. Oh, and they move over the Lurker, and that's unfortunate. Steamhammer's build order is pretty good. Oh, there are some Zerglings over here as well doing damage, taking a couple of Lings which are just retreating and not even stopping to fire apart. That's very good. Lings over here, Lings over there, and Ultra leading the charge, and it seems like the science vessels are running out of irradiates, and the Scourge do take one down. So for the time being, Purple Spirit a little bit on the defensive, Steamhammer gathering units, production tab full of Ultras and Zerglings, and I like where this is going. I love to see a good Zerg versus Terran. And although Purple Spirit nearly had Steamhammer down on his knees, there are just too many Lings sweeping the map. Oh, and right over here as well, and although the Lings defend themselves quite expertly, they are going to incur a lot of losses, and even these 3 Zerglings can do quite well. The upgrades for Zerg are there. They've got +3 armor, +2 weapons, +3 weapons is starting. Ultra upgrades are done. And we have got Consume and Plague, so Zerg appears to be really good in shape, but this Ultra with the Irradiate is doing such a ton of damage to the Zerglings. There is a Defiler coming though, so now let's see what it's going to do. Is it going for a Swarm or going for a Plague? Right now it doesn't, it appears to not really be going for anything, and the Ultras may just kill it with the Irradiate. Oh, that would be... Oh, we've got a Swarm. At least we've got a Swarm, and then with the... Irradiated Ultras, Terran kills the thingy, the Defiler. Meanwhile, Zerg production tab is exploding with Zerglings. 75 workers, that's enough to be writing home about. And look at the saturation of this. There is a constant stream of Zerglings rolling the map, augmented by Ultras, and right now it's Ultra, Defiler, Ling with a handful of Scourge thrown in, and Purple Spirit is having the devil of a job to defend. There is a Lurker, but without supporting units it's pretty weak, and you ideally need a couple of Lurkers, but even one Lurker is quite a force, and oh dear, a Plague on these science vessels might really be good. The Lurker should just keep its ugly head down and kill Marines. This expansion is not going to go as planned, and the Zerglings are going to find this hidden base with the... Are they though? With this... just not far enough. Don't find the starports, and I think that Terran has got a bit of a chance to get things done. +3 armor is nearly done, and you've just got so very good upgrades, and Zerg has got 70 army supply. Oh, and this Firebat. The Zerglings are running about, and oh, the number of Zerglings dying from Irradiated Ultras is just insane. Look at this. Oh, there was a Defiler. This is an Ultra, but still... Oh, the Zerglings really getting to grips. Oh, we've got a Battlecruiser as well. This game is completely out of control. But these Ultras are really mopping up the Zerglings, and although Purple Spirit's army numbers are plummeting, Zerg is really... oh, that's the good move. I think that is what you've got to do. Run around the Terran. It's got to move its entire army up, and the Scourge are not as... Small point of criticism for Steamhammer, because even though I love this build order and I love the play, The Scourge could have been a little bit more effective, but right now it doesn't really matter because the map is awash with Zerglings, and supporting units are coming to come in as well. And now all the tanks are gone, the science vessels are out of money and out of protection, which is worse. And one dies, the other one lives. Should take care of killing some turrets. And now it is, oh dear, oh dear, look at the orgy of Zerglings with some Ultras mixed in. The upgrades for Zerg are all there. And yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. Still this base over here standing, but Zerg just going for the throat and is tearing his mind out. Oh, we've still got 1 or 2 battle cruisers, that's good. But all the science vessels are dead, and I think eventually even the battle cruisers they don't really know where to begin because there are so many Zerglings, and that's just really not worth it. A lot of them are dying. There is still an irradiated Ultra in there, and it's it's just worn off. So these battle cruisers are getting a lot of target practice, but the Zergling numbers just keep coming and coming, and Zerg is just going to press Z for victory. And that is a really beautiful game by Zerg, and still not enough Overlords, but there will be soon, and more bases taken. So Steamhammer is going to be a force to reckon with. Look at how it played versus Purple Wave and now Purple Spirit. That is absolutely very, very beautiful. So, battle cruisers, I'll relieve you, I'll call the GG and hop into the next game, which will be Prism Cactus versus Halpan. Halpan been updated as well, back on the update of Iron, which is its mainstay really. And Prism Cactus is, well, macro-wise pretty good, unit composition good as well, but there are some kinks to iron out, like sending all your probes to go and catch a scouting SCV. That's just half of your workforce right now, and Terran is just not going to kill. Oh, that's interesting. Going to kill the depot. That might delay the Terran a little bit, but this is not really good, and I think that it's going to cost Prism the game. But then again, you never know. Oh, and the repair. If it gets in the red, I think it will get repaired. The probe keeps getting at it. There is going to be a Marine that will chase off the scouting probe. And Halpan's now pretty safe with 2 bases and a bunker, going for some factories while still... Oh, the workers got back to work, that's a good thing. And now there is a cyber core, so that will mean a couple of goons, and then the scouting SCV will be killed, as can be seen here. Natural taken for Prism, a little bit late because Halpan has been mining at the natural for ages with a superior worker count. And now we are going to have some thingies, vultures they're called, and going after the goon and the zealot. The zealot may be a good prey, but the goons are a little bit iffy to deal with if you're a vulture. And the vulture runs off. We've got goon range, no vulture speed. We will have mines soon, so that's going to make Terran's life a little bit easier. And Terran, what will you do? So I think that Halpan's play is a little bit better, not relying on one base play for too long, and just going to make a steady little army and going after the Protoss. Protoss taking a 3rd base though, and as a Terran player you can't let that go on for too long. You can't do that for too long either. But all in all, I think that map control is on the side of Protoss, and now Iron Halpan is going to try and take the map, but it will need some forces. Oh, and here is the minefield at Protoss' feet. There is an observer though. It's going the wrong direction, so I don't know. And one vulture is killing a lot of, or could kill a lot of workers, but isn't doing so. And Protoss is really stuck in its base by lack of an observer, which is over here doing God knows what, and there are no cannons, and that's always a very good trick if you're a Protoss. Just pile in 2 cannons. You've got a lot of hit points in your expansion and protection against these small vulture raids, and you don't have to divert any fighting forces. 3rd base almost up by Halpan. Halpan is going to work, I think, on the tank count, and that will spell misery for Prism. Prism is not really sophisticated enough to deal with a big Terran like Halpan. The observer is just not there. There are 2 observers, 3 observers right over here, while there are mines to be cleared. and tanks cowering behind the mines and going to contain the natural where all the production is. The third is mining, the fourth is started, but there isn't any cannon over here, and that might be a relatively easy modification for Prism to get things sorted. And now the tanks make mincemeat, or at least blue soup, of the goons of Prism, and Prism is going to send some workers at it, and obviously that's not going to work. There is a Reaver in the shuttle, but that's about all there is, and the Terran army is just too strong, going to clip the natural. The third is overrun, and this base never got built. So, oh well, it did get built apparently, but it got killed shortly after. Halpan is running across the map, just taking out bases with pure Vulture, and well, Prism, work to do, and GG. So let's look at Crazy Protoss, because a peculiar little characteristics, which is a very cheesy opening play aside, it can still play pretty well. It has got a good mid-game transition, and end-game is quite nice as well. So you can see we've got a Forge and a Pylon, and only then is this building probe going to exit over there. And this is not going to be as all-in as... oh, it's not going to be all-in at all, because there isn't going to be a cannon rush. That's fortunate for Zerg, because Zerg wasn't really prepared for that, I feel. But Crazio is now going to play a full-fledged macro game. The SimCity could have been a little bit better. This is a bit of a wonky build order, as can be expected from a long-time Terran player, but Mad Mix is going to have to work hard to get up this ramp with just pure Zergling, and Crazio is going for a little bit of Corsair, looks like. Oh, and DT's behind that, so that's very good. Corsair going to come into the main base. Oh, and we'll find two Overlords at once. They keep on top of each other, and this one takes half damage just for fun. And Mad Mix is now badly supply blocked, and there are so many Corsairs over it that I really wonder if it's ever going to be unsupply blocked. It is building a lot of Overlords, but as it's only got 2 bases, or 3 now, oh, the Overlords could be safe here. The Zerglings here can't get too much done. The Corsairs are killing Overlords left, right and center. And just keep Corsair over here and one over there, you should be good. That is discounting the third, where there are 2 Overlords now, so Mad Mix will eventually get out of that, and has got a 4th as well. Oh, Dark Templar's being killed, and there is no anti-air whatsoever. That's... oh, there are going to be a couple of Hydras, that's good. The Corsairs, though, are doing a bucket load of damage, and that is really the new Zerg versus Protoss. You need to have something to deal with Corsairs, because Corsairs without focused anti-air are just too good versus Overlords, and you need a Spore or a group of Hydras just to protect your Overlords from the Sairs. And you can see Mad Mix is having to build so many Overlords, and Crazio is going to play a really rickety one-build game, because one base build order, because it really can't get out of its base much. The Corsairs are doing fine, but the problem is that the map is going to be blanketed in Zerg, and there are going to be some Spores. Not here though, so that's a bit of a letdown. That is where all the Overlords are, and now... oh, here we go. And they are going to hang on top of these Spores, so that's good. 3 Spores should be enough to discourage any Corsair activity in that particular area, and more Spores are going to be built. Hydras at home, and now the Hydras have broken through the defenses. Crazio hasn't got a unit in the world. Well, it's got a lot of Corsairs and a couple of carriers. Have they got the upgrade for interceptors? Yes, they do. But right now, the Zerg is just too big, and Crazio... sorry. Crazio is going to mine out, and as far as build orders go, you can't really expect to play one-base Protoss build, no matter how good you are in the current game. And Mad Mix is just going to run away with that. The Corsairs are still there. They are going to get cornered. Will they get killed? Nah, one will. And some more Overlords will be killed, but the main base is looking like this. And although the carriers sort of come back to save the day, there is just no money for Crazio anymore, and more Hydras are being ferried in. So, production tab-wise, it's Overlords and Hydras, and well, Protoss hasn't got any money. So this was sort of the game. 19 interceptors, and they can't really make a fist anymore. So the Hydras are left to roam the the Protoss base unchecked, and the last interceptors die. So that's the GG. Very well done, Mad Mix. That's a respectable game versus a good Protoss like Crazio. And Crazio had better get some build orders right. Now, as this is the age of big Protosses, let's see Banana Brain versus McGrave. McGrave pushed another update. Used to be a little bit inferior to Banana Brain, and well, I'm wondering if that's still the case. Both players going for a gateway, and I think that McGrave is going to transition into a core a little bit earlier. Yes, there we go. While this is basically a 2-gate with a little bit later core, and you can sort of see that reflected in the unit count. Banana Brain is going to try and get lucky with a small bit of Zealot pressure and a quick Nexus, natural Nexus behind that. These 4 are not going to be very successful, I believe, because there are 2 goons. Oh, but one gets pinned down. That's very unfortunate. And lots of workers being taken off mining, and although the goons clean it up eventually, that was really worth it for Banana Brain. Mining time lost, workers lost, and well, now you've got to back off really. Let's look at the upgrades. Both have got range, but this natural is just so much quicker, and of course with the worker lead, Banana Brain has got the advantage, I feel. Now, tech path taken for McGrave, and either that's going to be Reavers or something else, but for the time being, oh, McGrave has got the unit advantage. How can that be? How can that be? Banana Brain getting a little bit too far ahead of itself, but the micro appears to be on Banana Brain's side. You can see with the defender's advantage, although these goons are getting a little bit low, the observer doesn't really contribute much to the fighting power. Oh, and the damage distribution is insane. I think that one goon has about as much health as these 3 badly wounded ones from Banana Brain. But, oh, and that is a victory for Banana Brain. Banana Brain now almost doubling the number of workers of McGrave. McGrave still hasn't got a natural. And will it have a Reaver? Yes, but that will be pretty much all it will have for the time being. A couple of defensive cannons by Banana Brain, and Banana Brain now really going to increase production and going for a little bit of tech as well. Observatory done. One of these, I think, must be a citadel on the other one. Oh no, those are cannons. Right now, Banana Brain defending, and Purple McGrave taking the natural with the Reaver over there. And I feel that Banana Brain could have done more with the lead it had. Should group its army together. It's got a pretty safe natural now, but if you've got the army lead, you don't really need a safe natural, you need an unsafe enemy natural, and that was a little bit lacking. Now with the Zealot offering, I think that Banana Brain is doing pretty well, although it's taking a lot of balls from the high ground, and the units are getting pretty damaged. So McGrave should still be in an okay position, but much will depend upon the Reaver micro, and oh, it doesn't look to be very good. 2 shots, shuttle badly damaged, no cannons here at all, so workers lost and damage to the natural nexus. What's that Reaver going to do? I don't know. Doing well, but the natural nexus is under attack. Workers are being lost. It's almost 3-1 workers right now. Third base up and running. 4th base already started by Banana Brain, and Banana Brain is really running away with this game now. Shuttle Reaver still there, but it's not really as effective as it could have been, although once in a while a heavy Reaver blast lands, and that's just painful. There are a couple of goons over here. I don't know what they are doing. And trying to snipe. Oh, now with 2 Reavers, I think that McGrave has got a good fighting chance, but the Reaver micro is just a little bit off, and the Reaver is in a position, the Reavers are in a position where they can't do too much good, but you can see with a handful of goons of its own, the Reavers are dishing out the damage, and if they had been on top a little bit more, and this, oh, it's very hard to pursue enemy Zealots with Reavers, but that's a nice pair of Scarabs right there, and there is a Reaver of Banana Brain, but it hasn't got a shuttle, so that is a fight you should be able to win, and the goons of McGrave are doing good. The shuttle, though, is not on top. It's fluffing about too much, and the 2 Reavers and their fighting power are much needed in the front line. And now the last goon of McGrave is going to die, and all the while these 2 Reavers over here are doing damn all. They are on a... I don't really know what they are doing. fact is that there is a large contingent of goons coming up, and although the shuttle died, I believe there is one Reaver out there which is running a lot, but should still able to kill quite a few goons. But the Reaver micro is the enemy Reaver got killed, and now you've got 2 Reavers off your own with a shuttle. I think that is it's almost like one of the cowboys of old. It's very nervous, very twitchy, but some in that Reaver versus Reaver fight, that was pretty effective. And now 2 Reavers, or 2 shuttles with 3 Reavers, or 2 shuttles with 4 Reavers it is actually, represent a lot of fighting power. The natural nexus though is gone. Oh, there is a carrier, so many Protoss going for carriers these days. It's really fun to watch. Main base is all there is for McGrave at this point, and Banana Brain has got everything it wants. Well, save for production outside of the main base, but this game is absolutely over. The Reaver overhead, the carrier overhead is doing good, and of course it's just one base versus the map, and that is not fair. So GG McGrave, good game, but for the time being Banana Brain is still a little bit better. And now I have got one game. It's Purple Destiny versus Killerbot, and Purple Destiny rolled a Zerg, so let's see how good the Zerg of the Purple Zerg actually is. And of course the Purple Zerg is Killerbot, and this is the Purple Zerg of Purple Destiny. So I'll not refer to the colors anymore, but let's see. We've got a lot of money saved on both sides, and I think that this is going to be about a quick pool still, and the pool here as well. So both players going for exactly the same build order. Gas being taken by Destiny though, and now by Killer. And Killer is going for a for an Evo chamber and some Zerglings as well. So the Zerglings will probably meet over here. +1 versus speed. Nice war, while this scouting drone is trying to kill the natural hatch. And I think that Destiny is going to be in a good position with this very nice line of Zerglings. And of course an extra hatchery, that's very good. Upgrade wise, I think that Killer will have +1 speed and attack as well. So all things being equal, if it's got the necessary Zerglings, it's now lagging behind because the enemy's got speed and it hasn't. But it will have speed soon too, and it will have +1 a little bit later. Destiny going for a Sunken, which will somewhat even the scores, and I think that Killer will have, with this extra hatchery, a good chance of prolonging its stay. But Destiny's got the lair already and nothing here. Another hatch for Killer, and Killer now is going to have to devise a plan, because it's got this +1 coming up, but after that it's got inferior Zergling numbers, inferior worker numbers, and losing some lings as well. That's not good at all. Could do with a Sunken just to be safe. These Zerglings of Purple Destinies are going to be quite hungry and want to take some nibs at this extra hatchery right over there. Right now Killerbot has got an extra worker over Purple Destiny, but this is the real problem. It's going to be a Spire, and once the Spire is up, there is nothing in the way of anti-air on the side of Killerbot. Killerbot has got the Evo chamber though, and is now fighting a good Zergling versus Zergling action in the middle of the map, with that +1 attack being instrumental in that battle. And you can see that Destiny is losing a lot of forces, has got this Sunken in the rear though, but Killerbot is just going for it, balls to the wall. That is such committed Zergling action, and now is going to kill the natural, and I think that's a good choice, because although, the Mutas are all over the Overlords, and that's not where they need to be. The Zerglings cleaned up the natural, and now we're going to kill all the workers, and if Purple Destiny is not very... Oh dear, it's too late. All the buildings may die before the Mutas have a chance to stop these Zerglings, and even if they do, it will only be... and that is the GG, ladies and gentlemen. Killerbot killing of Purple Destiny, which was doing so well, but you've just not got any leeway in fighting Zerg versus Marion Devecker's Killerbot. What a game, and wow. Okay, so I've got a ZVT, and it's Hader versus Moo Zerg, so that should be good. Moo Zerg hasn't had an update in ages, and Cherry Pie, the Facebook bot, isn't online anymore, so sort of missed that. And I know TC Moo Zerg is not the sturdiest Zerg bot, but The replay size of this replay just convinced me to cast this game, and I hope it's going to be good. But Tisimu really is playing a little bit harassy from time to time and not really going after the for the kill, and it's in that way it's really the opposite of Killerbot, which can get away with so few units and has such a lot of fighting power right in its hand on only 9 workers and just scraping an extra hatch out, and it's just so bloody and lethal. Now Tisimu is going for an extra hatch and for a Hydra Den. Scouting SCV still in there, just doing a lot of scouting, and SSCAIT going for a natural as well. Worker transfer right on time, immaculately timed as always. Now Tisimu is going for a lot of overlords, and I don't know if SSCAIT is going to do a run by, but oh dear, what's this? The Hydras are going on a detour along the other side of the map. I don't know what that's about. Tisimu now though has got, oh god, no. No, not the Hydra build again. And I keep forgetting that Tisimu does that. It's such rubbish. It can play so well, and for Zerg versus Terran, I think it just hard fixed the Queen build, and that's... it's just not okay. I'll say that much. It's not okay. I think it's funny if it works, but you just got to let your other builds off the leash, and it's not okay. Should get the energy upgrade. They spawn with a little bit extra energy. And SSCAIT, what's it doing? It's building a lot of anti-air. That's good. Tisimu isn't building any other units. Well, hardly. It's only queens. And right now, it's 4 lings, 0 hydras, and 4 mutas somewhere. 3 versus 2 bases. The queens are over here. They'll have energy soon too, so that's going to be a brief moment of interestingness. But in general, I don't really like the Broodling build. But here come the queens with full energy, and SSCAIT is just going to crush the natural. And why are they not broodlinging the Goliaths, I wonder? The natural's overrun already, so why not? Oh, I heard something. What's Tisimu building? Only queens. God. This is so hard to watch, and if the queens would actually broodling, that would be good, but as it is, they are not. And they are just... I don't know. This is complete rubbish. And SSCAIT is going to roll into the main. The units are dying slowly, but as there isn't a single... Oh, there are 2 mutas and 4 zerglings, but there isn't really much in the way of a fighting army for Tisimu. Just the queens. And they are not broodlinging anything. They are just hanging there in the sky, being ugly. And Tisimu still got the main for some reason. And the vultures are killing a lot of drones. Oh, I hate this. I should note to self, don't pick Tisimu Zerg versus a Terran, because it's going to do the queen build. And it's going to suck. But still, SSCAIT is not really getting its show on the road. Although, isn't it? It's got 4 bases, it's got a lot of production. And yeah, Tisimu's only got 18 queens. 17. And this is just not going to work. Some broodlings are in the game from time to time, but even the Goliaths are cleaning it up now, so yeah. There are some Sunkens with a couple of queens, might be quite lethal, and there aren't all that many tanks, but... Oh, that's very good. So a sunken base keeps the vulture away. Same can be said for a cannon. Mutas are trying to do something, but it's not really working, is it? Now there is a tank. We'll take care of those pesky little Sunkens right over here, and the workers will drive, of course. So yeah, that didn't work out too well. 1 more base for Tisimu. It's got vision of this one, but will Tisimu try to yes, it will try to restart, of course. But Terran is now maxed, has got a huge bank, and Tissimu, what can you do versus a metal storm like this? That is the game, and we are going to hop into the last game of today. And it's a good one. I didn't choose Tissimu versus Fader for the last one. It's Steamhammer versus Antigua. Antigua got an update as well. And Steamhammer really impressed me versus... what did we have? What was it again? It was... oh, I closed it already. Oh, versus Purple Spirit. So let's see how Antigua fares. Antigua's still playing versus AI as a human player. And let's see how its bot is doing. Going for a 2-gate, which I think is a really good build. And two Zealots are going after the enemy. The enemy has got a number of Zerglings, so that should be okay. Could do, especially if there are going to be more Zealots. Yes, there will be. Could do with a couple of Sunkens, which are a little bit better placed down here at the rear. Should ideally want them to be there and there, just in front, so you can pick off some Zealots. Or Goons, without getting in the way of your own mining operations. Steamhammer, 7 workers, that's not an awful lot. What's it making? Oh, it's making some workers and a lair, that's good, I think. Has it got Zergling speed? We'll have it soon. And Antigua is now going for more Zealots. Just go for full Zealots, that's a thing you don't see too often anymore. And Steamhammer had better beware, because with the Zerglings and Sunkers there is only so many Zealot pressure you can withstand. Worker count for Zerg is getting better and better though, and if it can sneak out one more worker just to start a 3rd base somewhere, that would be a great advantage to have. And that's going to be another Sunken, so that I think will be okay defense-wise, but you're going to need a little bit of stopping power out in the field as well. And where is that coming to come from? We've got the lair, we've got a Hydra Den, we haven't got we have got Lurkers coming up, so that is going to be the path that Steamhammer will take. And right now there are so many Zealots that it should be worth it, and only now is gas being taken by Antigua. Antigua banking heavily on those Zealots, but as time wears on, I think that Zealots are going to lose their edge in the game, and oh, +1 armor. Lurkers will be done soon. Steamhammer should sneak a drone out for a hidden base. There is scouting going on the part of Antigua, so Antigua really being on top of the scouting situation and has started the 3rd base. You can see it here in the bottom of the map. But now there are Lurkers, and that is going to be quite painful for the Zealots, because there is no scouting whatsoever. And I think now there will be a couple of cannons, but there is no rover base, so no mobile detection for Protoss for the time being. And these Lurkers can leapfrog all they want and leapfrog this Protoss army back home. Antigua had about 50 army supply and now is back to 30, and I think that Steamhammer will overtake it. Will there be cannons in place? I think not here. Perhaps over there, and that's going to be iffy. Still no 3rd base for Steamhammer though, but it's invaded the natural and killing a lot of workers over there. There is now a robo bay, but there isn't an observatory, so that may cause irreparable problems to the life of Antigua. And Steamhammer only now is taking a 3rd base. Really close fighting, but finally I feel that Steamhammer has got the workers and units balanced a little bit better in control. And these Lurkers have just no answer in this game. There are some cannons, but I feel that they are not going to be worth very much. Oh, and this base has been found already. And now the Lurkers are in the main base, and that's just not good. Worker-wise, Antigua still ahead, but army-wise, it's 23 versus 6. And, well, that will be, I think, very hard for Antigua to get back from. There are so many Lurkers, though. And Antigua, what will you do? That's just very hard to stop at this point. Worker transfer, from the 3rd, which is not safe, and going for Templar and Carriers or something like that in the same fell swoop while there are Lurkers ravaging your base is just not going to work. So these cannons are all that stand between Doom and Steamhammer victory. Steamhammer has got the 3rd up, 4th operational, so I really can't see this going anywhere. Going to encroach upon the cannon. Cannon doing a good job, a really good job of defending, but in the end, I think it's just not going to work. And Steamhammer is on top of the RAS situation. A couple of Lings and a Neuter over here. And we'll build a string of hatcheries in this last game. Lurker's still there, killing probes left, right and center. This base overrun. And Steamhammer has now got a nice string of hatches and is building more. Good God, look at that. It's going to explode, or it just exploded already. Look at the Hydra count. It is insane, and the units are all going to converge upon the last base for Protoss. The Lurk is still there, and these two cannons are overrun. So, Steamhammer really looking good. Going to look forward to seeing it improve even further with the fighters now. That was the game, and the game so far has been really good. I thank you all for watching and for your support, and I want to thank every coder of these beautiful monsters once more. For now, I say thank you for watching and good night.